Playing My Horn, April 2007. Lucky me, playing my horn, a glorious task for which I was born. Sometimes I play late into the night. Warm-ups by David Johnson work just right. It's hard to play the horn, most would say, but that's the joy, the accomplishment of the day. I can do something difficult pretty well, and often it takes me out of the worldly hell. The horn always gives back to me what work I've put in comes out sweetly. The horn is an important extension of me, bringing me moments of joy and so much glee. When I am upset, playing my horn is the first thing I do. It takes me to another world, and then I don't feel blue. The breathing and focus it always commands takes me away from what life demands. When I play the horn, it is only for me. It is truly my sweet serenity. This poem was written as a thank you note, actually, to David Johnson of the American Horn Quartet. I took a year off from Claflin Hill about 10 years ago and went to Italy for the year. And I immediately missed being on stage. When I went to the first concert, I was almost in a panic and cried through the whole program of the Planets because Claflin Hill had just played it last season. And I didn't know when I was going to work again. So I immediately went home to my friends and said, I need to find somebody to study with. So I went and I studied with Sandro Ceccarelli in Milan, and then he suggested I also go up to Lugano and study with David. And so that poem was written as a thank you note for the guidance they both had given me. And I said, gee, I think I'm going to submit that to the Horn Call. And I was very surprised. It was all done on a whim. I was beyond the deadline. I just emailed it to Bill Scharberg in Texas, and he replied right away. He said, we'll take it. So that's how that poem came about. I'm from a family of 11 children, and I'm fifth from the top, and my father loved music. And so I'm sure I had a passion right from the womb. Each of the children played instruments. He was choir director at St. Anne's Church in Littleton for 22 years, but he played violin at home and just loved music, was always listening to recordings. He loved jazz. We sang all the time. It was a house full of chaos, but a lot of fun, and we always sang together. But speaking about the horn, I did not want to play the horn at all. I wanted to play the timpani. And today I still visit the percussion section because I love the timpani. But they said, no, we are not having any drums in this household. And I said, well, that's what I want to do. And each week they were asking me, well, have you thought about what you wanted to do? And I said, yes, I want to play the timpani. And finally the night came, and they said, well, it's the night to decide. And I said, I want to play the timpani, so get whatever you want. Because if I can't play the timpani, it doesn't matter to me. So they brought home the trumpet, and I played trumpet for 3 years and was playing first trumpet. And the band director, who was also a family friend, asked me to switch to horn. And I bawled my eyes out. I did not want to play the horn. I was enjoying playing lead trumpet and getting lots of solos. I didn't want to play offbeats, which is what band has a lot of. But I did fall in love with the horn shortly thereafter because we were fortunate enough to live at the New Hampshire Music Festival for 3 summers. And I went to a workshop and was able to hear Barry Tuckwell from Australia and Phil Farkas, who was the first horn player of the Chicago Symphony. So I was only a junior high student, but I got to hear two world-class players with an amazing sound, and I really fell in love with it then. I've been teaching for many, many years, and that's always been a joy. I like to teach because as a teacher we learn. And I like to see the college students succeed because this is not their major. It's a science school. But Doug Weeks has an excellent music program there, and these students are challenged, and they rise to the challenge because science and music goes very well together. They understand it intellectually. Sometimes the challenge is for them to add the heart and the soul because they have a science brain. But they're a joy. I've always loved teaching. I've always felt that it's beneficial to me as a player to know how to describe a passage in a piece of music 20 different ways. Because if I have different students, they don't all understand on the same level. So you have to demonstrate, but you also just learn how to say a musical phrase in many different ways so that each student can understand it. Our very first concert, I believe, was performing Carmina Burana, and it was in the spring, and one day was 34 degrees, and the next day was 90 degrees, and it was in Worcester, and several chorus members fainted. It was crazy, and I think on that program we also played 2 serenades, and we said, oh my goodness, this is the beginning of doing music Paul's way. Like, the more, the better. And it was really fun. It was a new group for me. I had played with many other orchestras, and so it was a new conductor. And I said, this guy has a lot of passion, and this should be a lot of fun. And it really has, and it's just grown. Over the years, I know Paul has put his heart and soul and his household into this orchestra so that musicians can have work and that we can bring beautiful music to the community. And I admire him a lot for all the sacrifices he made. And a lot of us had played together in other groups, so we were friends anyway. But over the years, we've seen at least 3, maybe 4 different concert masters, and there has been tremendous improvement. I love our concert master today. He's brought in a lot of wonderful players, and the strings have just improved continuously. We have a very strong woodwind section, and the brass has been solid right from the get-go. We've been pretty lucky that it's been very stable, and we all enjoy each other and support each other. So it's been a lot of fun making music together because the passion comes right from Paul at the get-go, but we all have our own inner passion that we bring. And it's 1 and 1 doesn't make 2. It makes 100. I think I'd like just to say thank you to my parents for the love of music and my band director. I think of them all the time, every time I play. And it's good to have some way to give back. I feel God gave us some talents, and it's our job to use them. And I'm very grateful. It's not an easy life, but I'm very grateful that I've been a musician all my life.
Hey everybody, this is Tim Coette. Make sure you check out full episodes of The Milford Informer on Milford TV. New episodes air every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. and then re-air frequently over the course of the weekend. Milford TV can be found on Comcast Channel 8 and Verizon Channel 38. And if you live in the Milford area and have an idea for a news story, you can contact us at news@milfordtv.net.